Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw. And we just saw Dark Phoenix.
Okay, so this is spoilers. Go ahead and start diving for the button now, because he's going to do his spiel, and by the time he's done, we can hopefully go straight into spoilers.
Yeah, so spoilers, and we're giving you a chance to turn it off. But yeah, so if you want to get the gist of our opinions, this is going to be more spoiler detail specific. You can check out our no spoiler review. I have a link in the description below, or something's, I don't know if it's popping up. That's too much work these days. I'm not lazy, you're lazy. So there's the thing. And again, if you're the kind of person that just thinks we're going to just spoil a little bit in the beginning and then you'll click out.
We are random.
We go all over the place. We often start right at the end. So unless you want full spoilers, you need to bail. And that's probably been enough time unless you slipped on the soap, and in which case, why are you watching this in the shower? Oh, I know why you're watching this. Hey. All right. So that said, and again, we're not critics. We just we talk about movies because we like to geek out about movies, even movies we didn't really like. Bake her away, toys.
So then the aliens invaded. Oh wait, that actually.
Oh goddamn, that did happen, didn't it? The generic ass aliens that they barely fucking show you.
I know.
That is like, again, why? It's a comic book movie. We'll take aliens. We're good with aliens. We watched fucking Infinity War and Endgame. I know it's not the same company, but I'm like, come on, why are you... There's like one shot before they start turning into people, and it's like all in the dark in the forest, and I was like, Groot? Army of Groots? And then, I mean, it is kind of a neat effect near the end when they're getting, like, machine gunned away and chips of their fake flesh is rotten or shooting off and you see the thing underneath. But then I'm like, how the fuck does that even make sense? They were shapeshifters. They're not, like, wearing skins of human flesh.
Yeah, we did not think this through.
And then, you can, if you use M16s, 20 M16s on one of them, nothing. But, like, an M50, oh, that'll drop one. And then later, Magneto, they're fucking all the machine guns and all this shit, and Magneto's stab in the neck, stab in the gut, and they're dying. And it's like, what? Get consistent. Wmaybe
they're more vulnerable to piercing weapons. I don't know.
But bullets pierce. I mean, that's why the end sequence, that's one of the big things that pisses me off. But let's go back. Let's start off on a more positive note. Again, coming into this with the lowest of expectations, practically dreading it. Wishing I was seeing Godzilla, but we won't go there. I was pleasantly surprised first 20, 30 minutes. That opening scene, first off, with her as a kid in the car, that was pretty cool. And I tell you what, Jean Grey had better taste in music than her mom. So, mom deserved it.
Oh man, that was a brutal crash though.
That was. And the way they visualized it was fantastic. Like actually seeing the actors turning over and all that stuff, and seeing the dead mom and the reflection of the rear view, like that gripped me. And I'm like, oh, even though you kind of know that's going to happen from the trailers, you didn't know it was going to be quite that brutal. But it's like, oh,
well,
okay.
I don't know. I think the dad kind of twitching.
Yeah, they did the picture twink. Yeah,
I was like, oh.
And then when they come back to it later, it's even just as heartbreaking because he's staring at his wife that he loves dead, and he knows it. And like, I don't even want to go down that road thinking that would suck. but I thought that was it was a really great opening scene. It worked really well. I like showing her in like the protection bubble and all the glass, none of it hitting her and all that kind of stuff. Thought that was really, really cool. So that was a good start. Get the title card, and then we get this great scene with Charles Xavier, because it's like early 70s, or late 70s. You know, he's still got his hair, and he's talking to the little girl, and he's saying these great things, and he even gets to that moment of, you know, well, you can't fix me. He's like, I'm not trying to fix you. You're not broken. It's like,
I'm not fixing you. I'm going to train you.
Right, but I love that he says you're not broken.
How to Train Your Mutants.
There you go. There's a movie for Mary. But I thought that was really, really cool. And I thought that was a beautifully performed scene by both actors, too. So again, I'm like, oh, wait, what's going on? This is pretty good. And then we get over to Jennifer Lawrence. And now, normally I like Jennifer Lawrence. The last movie I didn't like her so much because, it was a phoned-in performance. And when she shows up in here at first, I'm like, here we go, more phoned in. But actually, I think she was actually doing really good. I think she committed to this one.
Jennifer Lawrence that doesn't have to do full body makeup is a much happier Jennifer Lawrence.
Which is another issue that we all have with these movies. It's like, I know they don't want to wear the makeup, but you should have cast people that would wear the makeup because I want to see the goddamn mutants. And it's one thing with her. But having Beast be able to just, now he can just magically decide.
Yeah, that was just weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I vaguely remember there being some sort of serum thing, and
right.
I guess
that
her
was
shape-shifting thing is what makes him being able to do. I can't.
Yeah, you did see First Class.
I'm sitting here going, I can't keep track of all these things.
Right. But anyway, so
I can keep track of Marvel just fine.
Right.
X-Men, I'm like, I give up.
Because the X-Men stuff has not been memorable. Whereas the Marvel stuff is fun and is the MCU stuff. But anyways, we get to that, and I was pleasantly surprised right away that's like, oh, no, actually, she's committed this time. She's doing a good job. They're all in the yellow suits. They're going to go on a mission. It feels like a team. Well, a version of more the classic-ish kind of, like 60s-ish.
I have things, I'm looking at this, it's going like, wow, those are bulky looking.
Yeah, they didn't look as bad as I thought they were going to look from the trailers, but they didn't look great either.
But I'm sitting here going like, well, there's some easy cosplay.
Yeah, pretty much. But, and then we actually go on a space mission. And then Jean Grey shows up before we go on the space mission, and I had to take a moment, because again, the movies are so not memorable, I had to take a moment and be like, wait a minute, is this Jean Grey's first movie in the new universe, or... Oh wait, no, was she in the last one? Yeah. Yes, she was in the last one.
Yeah.
I eventually figured it out, but I actually had to think about that during the movie.
I'm going like, not Sansa.
Which, since you mentioned that, I'll just go ahead and say, by the way, the end of the movie is a hell of an alternate ending to Game of Thrones. Because I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, I'm getting some very strong Sansa feeding Bolton to his own dog's vibes here.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. But anyway, so they're going to go up to space, and the X-Jet has the X on it. All this stuff is cool. We're in space. We're on a legit mission. They're using all their powers, and like Mystique is calling out, like, you do this, you do that. And it feels like a team. It feels like the X-Men on an X-Men adventure, doing something important, saving people. Everybody's powers got used. Although Scott's was a little bit weird. Now, I like that they used his beam to blast to stop the thing from spinning, to blow up that motor. But like them lowering him down and then like them having like this cannon thing where he can shoot his beam from inside the.
Logistically, though, that makes sense.
It does make sense, but it was one of those things. It was just weird enough that I was sitting there thinking it took me out of the movie because I was sitting there thinking. Do I like that, or do I think that's too dumb?
Well, please, there's no other way for him to not blast a hole in the ship.
I understand that. That's not the point. The point is the writers could have come up with something else. And I don't have an opinion either way necessarily on it. I'm just saying it was just goofy enough because the rest of the movie is not that tone. Mm-hmm. It's not that comic booky to do something that comic booky. To the point where in the middle of watching the movie, it takes me out of the movie. Because now I'm sitting here debating... Was that dumb, or is it okay because it's comic book and, so, I mean, it distracted me from things. But, other than that, it's still really, really cool. You get a little bit of Quicksilver, Kurt's bamfing Quicksilver over there to grab everybody quickly so they can get the bamf in like a heartbeat and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I thought all that stuff was great. And then Jean gets absorbed into all that shit and they save her and all that, and that was all awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It stays pretty good from there for a bit. Until... everybody starts getting their whiny britches back on, and then...
You mean after she kills Raven?
Well, it's before that. It's right before all that. But but there's actually, you just reminded me. I just remember there's a little... I gotta turn the AC back on now. There's a little bit more good stuff before we get to where the movie kind of lost me. And that is the X-Men kind of celebrating and partying.
Yeah.
And showing them as heroes.
Now, is the appearance that you were talking about, was that in the non-spoiler, were you talking about Dazzler?
Yeah. Yeah, seeing Dazzler do her full Dazzler thing. It wasn't Taylor Swift, though. I had heard rumors for ages it would be Taylor Swift. And I was like, that would have been fucking cool. But it wasn't. I don't know if the song was or not. I didn't pay attention to the song.
Maybe Taylor Swift's like, I'm only out for a Marvel movie.
You know what? She's clever enough about her career. That would be the smart move, so fair enough. But I did think that was kind of cool, seeing the mutant party. Although, again, a little heavy-handed, a little over top, a little tonally unbalanced, because they did go a bit more comic booky with like Scott going to get drinks and be like, on the rocks to Storm, and Storm just creates ice cubes in his cup. I'm like, okay, all right. You earned some goodwill so far. I'm going to let that go. And Dazzler's there doing her thing, and it's a beautiful visual and all that kind of stuff.
That's the thing about, you have a bunch of mutants, you can have a hell of a party.
Yeah, I like that they were doing like portal hopping and all of that. So
you have somebody, a mutant that can like create, LSD or something.
Or the mutant equivalent of LSD, yeah. I'm sure Charles could pretty much do that if he wanted. He did throw some wild parties back in the 60s, apparently. I'm not even joking. I think that's actually in these movies. Not seeing a party, but so all that stuff was really, really cool. And then then Jean has her freak out, and that's when it starts slipping a little bit, because things kind of like it's almost like writer's convenience, like it's going from 0 to 60 like that.
Well, PSTD actually kind of works that way, though.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's what I'm saying. I'm not totally...
Can I get those letters in the right order?
Oh, PTSD.
PTSD.
Okay. But I can go with that, you know, and then she ran away and she knocked Scott out, which is another thing that pisses me off throughout this movie. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you that right after this.
And we're back.
So the other thing that pisses me off about this movie was how initially it's so easy for Jean or for Xavier to basically put somebody to sleep, to knock them out, make them unconscious. Why aren't they doing that later in the movie when there's so many opportunities? That was annoying to me. But maybe getting ahead of myself a little bit.
Which parties we're talking about. I'm not sure they could have done that to the aliens.
Yeah.
Because Charles is like...
Yeah, you're not. What are you?
What the...
Which was cool. But anyways, I won't get too harped on that until I can remember specifics. But I specifically remember that being a question I had, but I can't remember the specifics of when I had that question because I'm already forgetting this movie. I mean, it's not even been 20 minutes since we finished, and I'm already forgetting it.
I know Charles froze cops at various times.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's get to that then. Let's get to where the movie really officially hit the wall for me.
When the cops came into her dad's place?
She goes to her dad, we find out it was all a lie and all this stuff, and again, I'm sitting here thinking like, we're gonna make Charles the villain again, essentially, or a part of the villain, which I don't know that they've actually done that much, but it feels like they've done that a bunch. You know, that Charles' mistake is causing all this turmoil or something, or his arrogance. And again, when I think about it, I don't think they've actually done it, but for some reason, I feel like they've done that too much.
Well, it's one of those things where he's got so much power, it's very easy for him to go, like, I'm pretty sure this is the right thing to do. That this is the correct move. And, and, you know, he'll just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Guess who's going to stop him?
Right. But anyway, so we get to there, and, you know, Jean's, after confronting her father and knocking him unconscious, she comes out because she hears the X-Men coming, which I did think was cute, that the dad's like, don't do this, because the house is shaking. Yeah. She's like, it's not me, it's them, they're here, you know, for the jet landing.
By the way, the IMAX, you really get that rumble on the...
I actually smiled like grinned like a little goofy kid again during that, because you were feeling the rumble in your seat. I was like, oh, it's almost like 4D, which we need to experience at some point. You know, that's where they do like
4D at Disney World.
Well, I mean, like modern 4D with like where they do them for the movies and stuff. Like I hear, not to go on to Godzilla, but there's like a moment when like he's stomping and causing like a wave of air, and apparently like in the theater every time he does that, I'm like, oh, that would be cool. But I was coming back to it. So then, and what confused me, and then she had a good explanation when we talked about it during the credits real briefly, but I was like, who the hell even called the cops in the first place?
Her dad did.
When he went to get the water. I'm like, okay.
Because she goes,
fair.
Can I get you something? She says, no, it's like, let me get you a cup of water.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, you are desperate for an excuse to get out of that room.
Yeah, and where they parked their jet in the road, I realized maybe that could have been it too, but I think you're more right. But also too, when they parked the jet in the road, I was laughing internally because I'm like, what? I could just imagine trying to get home from work. It's like, God, what is this? I've been in traffic for an hour, now there's a goddamn jet plane blocking my driveway. Oh, that's that X-Men ship. Nope, out of here. Yeah. Oh, where's Future Trunks? Nope. It's an in-joke in other videos. So that's where it started to bug me. Mm-hmm. And then, like, this is where you get the last of Quicksilver, basically, except for maybe, like, one other line later in the movie. And it's what you saw in the trailer, and it was just... It was a lesser version... Whew, can't believe I'm saying that. A lesser version of The Flash and Superman in Justice League. No. Because that was actually a cool moment in that movie. But this is like worse, and you knew that's what it was going to be from the trailer. He was going to try and run up the stuff, and like I just assumed it would be a direct copy of the eye twitch. But at least she waves her hand and knocks the shit out from under his feet, and then he just goes falling at such a fast speed that he's out of the game the rest of the movie. Which is what we're saying in no spoilers. Is like I'm coming into this like at least we'll get a really cool Quicksilver scene. Not really. I mean, kind of a little bit in the beginning, but we didn't get that standout Quicksilver scene. Which at the same time, I'm glad they didn't go formula and do it. So I mean, well, the whole point is to go. That is how badass she is. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. It was just kind of obvious and you could see it coming. So, bet you didn't see that coming. Because Quicksilver did that in the MC. Okay. But, yeah, so this is where then it starts getting pretty flat in the movie for me from here on. And of course, oh yeah, they kill Jennifer Lawrence. You saw a trailer, you knew that was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Although I expected it to be more like her power goes nuts and like disintegrates her, not just power shoves her away and she's impaled on debris. So I was like, I think I like that.
well, see, by doing that, that gives like the chance for her and Hank to do their thing. And,
yeah, it gave.
And to I have to wonder if you would get the same sort of effect if she had just been dusted, because how do you even begin to process that?
You don't have a body for him to mourn over and all that kind of stuff, Which also then brings up another question then, because then they go to the funeral, and Hank is still in beast mode. And at first I'm like, oh, maybe he's going to do this thing to, like, honor her, and he's not going to, he's going to stop trying to be normal. But then, like, the next fucking scene you see him in, he's back to normal Hank. And I'm like, so why the fuck was he standing in the rain? But then I guess maybe because it takes energy to, I don't know. It's like, it's just one of those things
because wet furry Hank looks much worse than wet human Hank.
Yeah, and that's stupid to have that reason. And again, even though, like, with your thing about calling the cops and everything, this stuff, you shouldn't have to figure all that shit out after the movie, things like that. I'm walking a fine line here with what I'm saying, because sometimes that works for movies where they want to leave some things open to interpretation. They want to leave some things for you to kind of figure out on your own later. But basic how the plot moves along points sometimes should be a little bit more clear.
Can I tell you the most distracting thing about Hank for me in this movie?
Yes.
Is I just realized how much Nicholas Hoult looks like a really hot Grant from College Humor.
Okay.
You don't watch College Humor, but
I know they're college, but I don't think the other part's accurate. Oh! Sorry, go ahead.
So I was just kind of distracted by that every time he was in human form. I'm like,
Yeah.
That and... I know. I'm sure Nightcrawler was in the last movie. I just don't remember him looking like that. I think I still have the
Alan Cummings.
Alan Cummings version in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. He was in the last movie. I do remember that. With some thought. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's definitely a different Nightcrawler. But I do kind of like this Nightcrawler, so I'm not too upset with it. And then again, so now we get to the point when things start happening a little too fast and convenient for plot's sake, I think. Because, like, the whole government and everybody, they turn on all mutants like that.
It's not really that surprising.
I know, but it felt even the president, no one even wants to talk to Charles for a second and be like, is this what's going on?
And Charles himself said, before that, it's just like, all it takes is one bad day and we're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's what they're showing, but it just felt wrong to me. It just felt too fast. And then even, like, the fucking soldiers showing up with the helicopters on Magneto Island.
I'm sorry, if I was a soldier and he's like, we're sending you to Mutant Island and nope.
Well, and here's
court-martial me if you want to. I would like to stay alive, thank you.
Well, here's the thing that's a big problem with it, too, is they just sent regular, basic soldiers in there. When they establish later in the film, they have a mutant control something,
which I found funny because it's mutant control units.
MCU. Yeah.
So I'm thinking Marvel Cinematic Universe every time I see that.
But so you have a unit, you have a system of government that is designed and trained to deal with mutants. Let's not send them to track down this killer mutant on an island of mutants. Let's send regular old soldiers. Who are completely underprepared, undertrained for something like this.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? And then what was she even doing with that first helicopter? Like, I get.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that power struggle was.
Well, no, I'm not even quite to that yet. I'm talking about the first helicopter, because I get they're coming for her. She's gonna retaliate. But, like, she just comes out and she's like, I'm gonna turn that helicopter blade on and turn the helicopter sideways. What is your plan with this? And then, like, the blade almost hits Magneto and all this. And then it's like, and you never see those helicopter pilots get out of that helicopter. So when everybody else is scrambling to get on the other helicopter when it's leaving, it's like, I just keep waiting for, like, a pilot to pop out of the other helicopter. Hello? We're still alive in here? Hello? Anybody out there? But yeah, then the power struggle with, I guess she was trying to throw the other chopper in the air and he was trying to keep it in control so they could get on. It was not super clear, other than that they're struggling opposite directions. But I don't know if he was trying to. I don't know.
Again, if I was a soldier at that point, I'd be like, think I'm just going to run to the other side of the island and hope that I can get somebody to come pick me up.
Right?
Because this is not where I want to be.
Yeah, and again, it's also one of those things too. It's like it's more of a writer's trope, not necessarily a writer's convenience, but it's like, you know, if they could have waited like 5 more minutes before those helicopters showed up, that whole situation would have been a little bit different, because he just didn't have a chance to get any answers from her. You know, if he had found out, like 5 more minutes, she might have confessed that, No, 5 more minutes, she had already gone nuclear, because she was starting to go... Yeah, but...
Because he was trying real hard to rile her.
What, you don't think Dreadlock Dave Bautista Light could have taken her on? I don't know that mutant. I don't know a lot of the mutants.
Yeah, well,
a lot of the smaller mutant characters.
And the one that was the lookout, basically. I'm like, names...
And that makes me mad too, because I feel like there should be, and again, I am speaking from a place of somewhat ignorance here, because I'm not that familiar with the massive X-Men roster of sub characters, but I feel like you should. It's almost like they take the bottom of the barrel or something, and then they barely play them up, and it's like you just know they're just fodder. You know, like it's because it's not anybody special.
These guys might be kind of cool in the fight scene, and that's... Yeah,
and even that, again, the hair guy, I'm like, I mean, I guess it's something different, but... I don't know. Can't we put him in some like flashy colors or something? Again, everybody's in browns and blacks and grays, and it's like, and then even Magneto, when he finally puts the helmet on, like that's supposed to be a big moment. Like he pulls out the trunk and the helmet, and it's like, yeah, we knew this was coming. And then you see him like just in pretty much regular dress clothes with the helmet on. It just looks dorky as shit. Like if he's gonna wear the helmet, wear the full damn costume. I know it's kind of cut and shaped slightly like the Magneto costume, but. It just made his head look bigger than his body and just weird to me, and it bugged me.
Actually, that part didn't bother me.
Oh my god, what? No. Obviously...
I think part of the problem that you're having with it is that they are trying to be, like I said, less comic booky and more real world, and...
It's too grounded.
Yeah. And so
no, you're right, and I definitely, and that's a personal taste preference thing. I can see if other people are going to disagree. That's totally fine. Movies, art, it's subjective. Just giving you my thoughts and what bugs me. But you're right. It is that I have become accustomed to MCU understanding what makes a great comic book movie. So it's like and again, they've had how many chances now with X-Men, and of course now they're going back to actual Marvel. And it's just like, can we, I just want to have fun with it. I'm tired of mopey heroes. I was tired of mopey heroes like in the early 2000s, you know?
It ain't easy being a hero.
I know, but you know, you can still have some fun moments. America's ass. I mean, come on. Like seriously. Cause like there's no jokes in this. No, there was like 2, and it's Quicksilver. Early on when he's telling all the kids at the school, like, oh yeah, it was mostly all me. I pretty much did all that. Jean came in and helped a little at the end, but it was pretty much all me. Like, that was pretty much the only joke in the movie.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You know, so it's like, come on. I mean, let's have a little fun here or there. I know certain circumstances are dire, but... And then I don't know how I felt about, like, Xavier having that moment with Beast after her death. It was because Xavier came across so nonchalant about it. Like, he was just ready, like, an hour later to just go in there and sit and just drink and reminisce with Beast, and... Then Beast calls him out on it, and he's like, what, I'm dealing with things too? And it's like, this just feels tonally awkward. The whole movie felt tonally awkward. But again, I think it's because I'm looking for a different tone. And I was so set up by the beginning, because I'm like, this is fun. This is comic book adventure excitement. And then it's like, boop, back to your previously scheduled X-Men gloom and doom.
Yeah.
But let's see, because we've spent a lot of time in the front half. We should probably start moving through real quick in the back half and wrap this up. What else should we talk about? We talked about how crappy the aliens looked.
Yeah.
Jessica Chastain's fine, but again, I don't know if those are comic characters. I feel like they might have actually done a comic character here, but I've never heard of them, and they aren't memorable to me at all.
They might be part of the actual Dark Phoenix arc.
Because
I've never really read it.
I've only read little bits and pieces and seen the cartoon versions or something, so I don't know, but I heard, they changed it to a train thing instead of in space. I feel like I would have preferred in space, because at least it would have been different, whereas on the train, it's just, oh good, here's a background that's just all the same gray metal.
Yeah.
And then all the human guards go to fight off all the aliens, and like, not a single guard stays back with Jean. It's like she couldn't just wake up at some point or something, so there's that. Yeah. Some of the train stuff was cool, but then it's like I said, there was that one part where like you see them get rid of like all the aliens off the trains, and then 3 seconds later, like it cuts back to the outside again, and now there's hundreds of them again.
I think that's a continuity error.
Yeah, so I mean, but in movies of this caliber, you shouldn't have that. A coffee cup getting left behind, understandable. But something that big that is all CG anyways, you should have been able to fix. So I don't know. I was a little bit like meh on that. Chunks of the pacing are really good, but there are definitely chunks where I felt like checking my watch and, being like, come on, just let's go. Let's get something happening here.
I liked it when Kurt finally got pissed.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Because Nightcrawler, you do not want an angry Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
He will keep up.
Yeah, I think of all the mutants, he might have been the coolest, most represented one in here this time around. The more I think about it. Particularly when
he took the one and put her out in front of the train.
That was great. That was a good laugh. That was a good laugh too. I forgot. It's kind of a joke, I guess, but not a traditional joke.
That's not really a joke. That is, I'm pissed and I'm gonna make sure you die.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Jessica Chastain was fine in it, but maybe a little underutilized.
Well, I think part of the problem with that is that whole alien race is supposed to be very non-emotional, which comes across as kind of boring.
Yeah, that does become an issue, yeah.
Because that was the whole point. It's just like she's telling Jean Grey at the end is going like, the reason why you're weak is because of your emotions.
Yeah, but no, my emotions are why I'm strong. Haven't heard that line or version of that line 200,000 movies before. Mm-hmm. And you just know that's the line coming. It's like, ugh. Oh, and then okay, so sure, they go supernova and there's a big explosion, but we didn't know that at first. So when she's starting to kill Jessica Chastain's character, and then Scott Summers walks up to her, Jean, and then he's like, oh no, I'm disappearing. And I'm thinking, hey, dumbass, step the fuck back. It didn't happen until you walked up to the goddamn cloud.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, why don't you just bamf everybody the fuck out of here, man, and we're fine. She can do what she needs to do.
I was like, when they were first started the fight inside the house, not her dad's house, but in New York.
Yeah, the kind of big apartment building thing or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That whole fight sequence was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit
there.
But
I was sitting here going where she's got, everything is like disintegrating around her. I'd be like, I'm surprised everybody goes like, is that supposed to be happening?
Yeah, and it was.
Are you sure that's not a problem for you? Because parts of you are kind of disintegrating too.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I did kind of appreciate too the trying to crush Magneto's helmet, and then she shreds it open. I didn't like the shredding it open. I thought she was actually going to crush his head. No one died other than Mystique.
Actually, I'm a little unclear if she actually did that or if he did that.
Well, that's a good point. Maybe he broke it off his head.
Because I think she was trying to crush his head, and he went. No! It's like, huh. And she's like, okay, fine. I now have 4 pieces of metal to work with. Crap! Stop trying to crush my head.
Sorry, I had to do it. But yeah, so there was that. The making Charles walk thing was just goofy. I mean, what was that?
That was a power show.
Yeah, but it was so goofy. Like, it's just like, really? All right. Like, make up your mind. What tone are you trying to go for here? Like, I want a Deadpool commentary to this movie. I want Ryan Reynolds in character as Deadpool making a commentary on this movie. This movie could exist in his reality. That's what I need to see. I need that on a lot of movies, actually. He needs to start his own riff tracks.
Technically exist in his reality because we saw the X-Men in Deadpool 2.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking
Deadpool 2.
Well, yeah, sorry. No post-credit, no mid-credit, but this is the end. No more Fox mutants. Mm-hmm. I hear them now saying, what about New Mutants? They're never going to put that out. If they do, it's going to get dumped to like the Disney service or Hulu or something with no fanfare. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm wrong, because that one looked like it could have been something different, but...
It was basically a horror movie.
Yeah, but I'm hearing like they're reshooting the whole thing because they don't want that tone. It's like... Yeah, let's make it gloomy, doomy, boring bullshit like the rest of the X-Men.
I thought they were reshooting it to make it more horror.
I think they did originally, and now they're it's a fucking clusterfuck. I don't even know what they're doing with it anymore, but anyways, I'm kind of glad it's all over. Let's see, the end scene with Charles and Magneto, I thought was kind of neat because I'm pretty sure it was in The Last Stand, but it's definitely a riff. It's a reversal riff on one of those movies, because I think Last Stand's where Magneto lost his power, so he was retired, and Charles came to play one last chess game with them, and some of the dialogue was redone in this, but flipped between the two characters. Thought, all right, considering this is a new version of the parallel universe thing, not parallel universe, but a new version of the timeline and all that, okay, that's kind of cute. Then they pan up and you see the phoenix flame flying through the sky. It's like, ugh, that's when I rolled my eyes real hard, and then it's like, thank God it's over. Because again, it started off, I was like, oh, I'm going to enjoy this, cool. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you suddenly gain, basically total cosmic powers, and you've transcended, are you really gonna hang around Earth at that point? You're gonna be like, oh, I've got a whole universe to check out now. Cool.
Oh, hi, Carol Danvers.
Carol was sitting there going like, is something I actually have to deal with?
Yeah, you are pretty powerful. But yeah,
I'm not actually attacking anything in the moment.
Is there anything else? Because I think we skipped over some stuff, but like anything in the fight we want to talk about, we didn't hit.
Which fight?
The train fight that we didn't hit. I'm thinking in the back half.
Oh, actually, I will say...
or the city fight.
Watching the trailers, I thought Jean Grey was basically going to take out the other X-Men. That's the way it looks in the trailers.
Yeah, I don't remember if I got that or not. I don't remember.
Because you don't know anything about all the aliens. Jessica, there's something going on with Jessica Chastain, but you don't know about anything else.
Yeah, they didn't really show you any of the alien stuff. Yeah,
but if you go back and watch the trailers, it looks like it's Jean.
Do that. I'm done with this movie.
Anywho, if you do, it really does. They set it up to make it look like Jean Grey is going after everybody else.
Yeah, I can understand that, and you would kind of think she's going to lose her shit and do that. So I get that.
So that particular thing did not play out the way I thought it would.
Yeah. She gets stabbed and dissipates the sword thing and fixes herself.
Yeah, that is the one thing I was sitting there going like, why are you guys constantly throwing yourselves at her? Did you not see what happened to the last guy? And then the guy steps in her back and is like, oh, it's because you're trying to do something like that. Oh, well, that didn't work.
And they were wisely attacking her one at a time. Just like a 1980s kung fu film. I don't know if that's exactly true, but it feels that way. Yeah, and the city fight stuff was pretty cool, although the mutants really did get dropped by the MCU pretty easy.
But
I just realized the irony of that.
Fair, most of them had the crap beaten out of them at that point.
Yeah, no, but also I wasn't saying that necessarily as a negative, because again, you got the trained force coming in now.
Most of them were kind of unconscious anyways, or barely standing up.
Yeah. Especially Charles. But I mean, I did kind of like that, how they were kind of working that out so easy, but the
MCU was like, hold back. Okay, they finally beat the hell out of each other, now we go in.
But you know what I like about it, and I didn't realize that till I just made that statement, but it's like, I doubt it was done on purpose this way, it just works out this way, but considering now the X-Men will actually go to the real MCU, it's like the MCU stepped into the movie, and they're like, we'll be taking these, thank you. Our toys now. So, I mean, in a way, there's kind of this unintentional... So that actually brings a little more joy to the movie for me.
Okay.
Well, we should probably wrap it up. It's over half an hour, and it's late. It's not as late as Godzilla, but it's late. All right, so let us know. Comment away.
I might be in bed by 2.
Well, at least, unfortunately, I don't get to take you home because traffic was a nightmare. We had to meet at the theater.
Oh, that's right. I need to drive.
Yeah, so at least you don't have me taking another 20 minutes when we get to your place. But yeah, so comment away, let us know, how do you feel about it? I mean, if you loved this movie, awesome. I wish we could have loved it or enjoyed it more than we did, and I think you enjoyed it maybe even a little more than I did, even though you're still pretty meh on it. But again, I think that's just more, you're more forgiving in regards to a degree.
I am a much more forgiving person
about movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, anyways, comment away. Let us know. Agree, disagree. Favorite part, worst favorite part. What do you like to see happen in the actual MCU now? Let's play that game. Comment away. Let us know. You can also check out the Stardust app.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, there you go. I think they're building to that.
I think so.
I think that would be cool. And that way you can have Cap back, too, if you really wanted. But, so, comment away. Let us know. You can spoil in the spoiler video. It's all fine. Click the thumbs up button. Give us the good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged. Check out the Stardust app for more movie reviews, reactions, and such faster than I can get it to YouTube. And now we're going to get out of here so she can go home and we can watch some more stuff. We'll see you all later.